This episode with Nagy is interviewing Mr. Anthony Khouri. Mr. Anthony Khouri is not new to the Australian politics. He is a diplomat and he has served his country, Australia, in Bangladesh. Mr. Anthony, welcome to El Ghorba TV.
Thank you. Thank you, Nagy.
Mr. Anthony, you come from a very big Lebanese family, a Khouri family, and they have been well known to participate and contribute to the Australian society for many years. Would you like to just tell our viewers about your job as a consul general in Bangladesh and what does that involve?
Okay, thank you, Nagy. Yes, I'm the Consul General for the People's Republic of Bangladesh in New South Wales. I represent the Bangladeshi government and the people of Bangladesh here in Sydney. I'm a link between the Australian government and the Bangladeshi government, and I've been there for 16 years and I'm still holding that position.
Excellent. So if you can represent Australia as a whole in Bangladesh, I'm sure that you will be an excellent representative of the people of Blaxland.
Thank you.
Mr. Khouri, there are several federal issues that they represent a very important issues to the community in Blaxland. Some of them are, for example, you have the economic issues such as the budget. You have the struggle between they call it the battle of the sexes going on with Julia Gillard accusing Mr. Tony Abbott of being misogynist, which means anti-women. And I would like you to enlighten the electorate as to where do you stand on some of these issues.
The sexism debate is a diversion that shouldn't enter into the political scene in Australia. There are far bigger issues and far more important issues that are affecting the people, and you don't need this distraction. The reality is the Australian economy is suffering very badly. And when you say the Australian economy is suffering, you're saying the people are suffering. Because you can spend money left, right and centre. You can create money from a credit card or from loans or whatever. But at the end of the day, that money has got to be repaid. It's fine if you spend that money properly. It's fine if you spend that money on infrastructure or on services, on things that are going to benefit the community properly. And it's fine if you spend it wisely. But it's not fine when you spend without regard for what's going to come later. Because at the end of the day, somebody has to pay that back.
Thank you. There was also another issue related to this one, which is the Liberal intention to pay for maternity leave. That in fact the union last week or the week before said that they actually like the Liberals' plan much more than the Labour, which was something that unusual, never happened in as far as I'm concerned, in Australian policy. Can you enlighten your viewers a little bit about this subject, please?
Paid maternity leave is a very important aspect of the economy. It's very important because people have contributed through their taxes and through their hard work to get to this position. But the reality is, if I can just say this, when there's a surplus in the account, when the economy has money in the bank, you can take on new projects, you can take on new initiatives, and you can benefit the community because you have an ability to pay for it. At the moment, we're adding things to the burden of the community and saying we're going to do something good for you, but then we're forcing them to pay for it. Some things are good. Most things are good. But how do you pay for it? That's the critical thing. And that's what's happening right now, where the government is paying a lot of money for things that, in one respect, are good, like the national insurance scheme, the disability insurance scheme. If we had a surplus, that would have come out of the surplus. But instead of that, we add a premium on people to pay an extra levy, and you know, like these sorts of things are going on top of extra levies and extra charges and extra payments. And when the community and the people are already struggling with fixed incomes, they have their job and they know that they've got a certain amount of money and they budget for that sort of money. They have an electricity bill, for example, that's $200
Yes.
and then all of a sudden it's $900. It's not uncommon to get a bill for $900 or $1,000. Their income is still exactly the same.
Yes.
But all
yes.
the extra costs are coming in. Who's going to help them pay for that?
Yeah, that's very
And
important.
you add things like carbon tax. It's fine to talk about carbon tax, but the people are paying for this. The people are putting it out, taking it out of their hard-earned money and money they don't have. And when your family has a fixed income, they budget for it and they spend within that fixed income. If a family has $1,000 a week, they'll spend $1,000 a week, or they'll balance their account $1,000 a week. If the Australian government had done that, we would have been fine. But they're not doing that. They have $1,000 a week and they're spending $3,000 a week, and it's just not working.
Excellent. You mentioned, Anthony, you mentioned the carbon tax. We may touch on the carbon tax in a minute, but just before we go to the carbon tax, I am a struggler myself, and if on behalf of the people who are listening to Al Ghurba TV, what is the Liberal plan to help those strugglers like myself?
First of all, the carbon tax will be gone. Absolutely, totally, it's not on. The whole structure of the carbon tax was wrong, it was misconceived, and it's just going to go. And that's going to reduce your electricity bills for starters. But that'll also have an ongoing effect with other people as well, with other industries. That'll also, by them saving, they'll reduce their costs as well. Straight away, that's going to be gone.
So if I understand you correctly, the carbon tax is one of the biggest single cause for the increase, a massive, substantial increase in electricity bill?
Absolutely,
Am I right?
You're absolutely correct.
Okay. Because the average person usually don't understand the intricate implication of decisions such as carbon tax. To them, carbon, this is something in the air and it doesn't affect us, you know. So it is very good for the public to know that the reason for the increase in electricity bill and other bills as well is the carbon tax imposed by Julia Gillard.
Absolutely.
Okay, from here we can actually, before we end this quick interview, because I think we need to get you here back again, and we have a much better interview, longer a little bit and more comprehensive than this. How would you, I hate the word, but they use it in politics, how do you market yourself to and your product, that's your political philosophy, to the people of Blaxland?
Thank you, Najee. The people of Blaxland have been under the jurisdiction of the Labor Party from its outset. They've been in the control of that, the Labor Party has been in the control of Blaxland from the beginning. It was Paul Keating's original seat, and it has stayed Labor all the time. It has been totally and utterly ignored by the Labor Party. It has been neglected, and the people of Blaxland have been taken for granted. There is a time now for a change. Here's an opportunity for the people of Blaxland to have a change, to try something different. I will do everything I can to change the lives of the people of Blaxland for the better. I don't want people to keep suffering. This is Australia. We don't need to argue about how we're going to eat, or do we eat today, or do we pay the mortgage. This is a better country than that. We should have the opportunities to have a full pocket, to have work, to have a chance for our children to get educated, to have the freedom to live in safety and security in every aspect of our lives and in every aspect of our very existence in this country. It's God's country, it's the best country in the world, and it's about time we start to enjoy it. We can't enjoy it while we're struggling, and while people are having difficulties with excessive bills and with politics that they don't need to have jammed down their throats all 24 hours a day. The Labor Party doesn't even know who's going to lead them at the moment, and that's a terrible way to be at this time of an election. We're just about to have an election and they're still trying to decide who's going to be the leader. Well, we're in a situation now where you can make a change. You can make a change for your better, for the better of your families, for the better of Australia, and for the better of all concerned. But the only way that's going to happen is on the election day, when you go there to put your vote. You have a right to use your vote to change for the better. Make sure you fill out the boxes completely. Don't just put in one Anthony Khouri. Put one Anthony Khouri and then fill out a number in each of the other boxes, because if you leave a blank, you've wasted your vote. And there is nothing worse than wasting something that is so vital, so important to you, to have the right to vote in this country. Your voice, it's your entitlement. Don't lose it.
Excellent. Maybe we can have another interview about how to vote and exactly the technique and the ballot paper, how it's structured and all that. But before we end this short interview, and I thank you very much for the time you have given us, if I was your campaign manager, I would say to you that the best slogan, so to speak, for your campaign is, "It is time to change."
Thank you.
Would you agree with me?
I agree.
Mr. Anthony Khouri,
Change.
thank you very much again, and I'm sure we will meet again on Al Ghorba TV.
Thank you, Nagy.
This was with Nagy, this episode, and until we meet again, God bless you.